Okay, so now what was common to all Israel? All right, because it says, Ephesians chapter 2 verse 12, that at that time ye were without Mashiach, being aliens from the commonwealth of Israel. So let's go to Deuteronomy 7 and verse 6. Okay. Deuteronomy 7 and 6. It says, for thou, talking about Israel, for thou art an holy people unto the Most High, thy power. The Most High, thy power, hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself. He's talking about the nation of Israel. It says, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. All right? That's what's common to Israel, that we're above all nations. All right? So when it says that now, back in Ephesians, the 2nd chapter, that, but now, in Yahushai, what was that, verse 11, that at that time ye were without Christ, being aliens from the commonwealth of Israel. All right? What's common to Israel? Being above over all nations, the kingdom of heaven. All right? Because that's what's common to the nation of Israel, the kingdom of heaven. That's what's common to all Israel. That's not common to the other nations. Reading on. And strangers from the covenants of promise. So Paul is saying that these Gentiles, you've been estranged from the covenants. Now, who are the covenants made with? How can this be talking about the other nations? How can you be a stranger from a covenant that you were never given? Okay? Hebrews 8 and verse 8. It says, for finding fault with them, the days come, saith the Most High, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. That's the northern and the southern kingdom. He said nothing about making a new covenant with the other nations. So how can you be a stranger to a covenant that you were never given? How can you be estranged from a covenant being a natural Gentile when you were never given the covenants? All right? The covenants was made with the nation of Israel. All right, reading on. Having no hope and without the Most High in the world. So this is all dealing with the 12 tribes of Israel. All right? It's all dealing with the 12 tribes of Israel. The covenants was, let's go to Galatians. Go to Galatians 3 and verse 15. Okay, Galatians 3:15. Brethren, I speak after the manner of men. Galatians 3:15. I speak after the manner of men, though it be but a man's covenant. A covenant is a contract, an agreement between two parties or whichever parties that's included. In this case, it's two parties, the Most High and the nation of Israel. All right? It said, yet, if it be confirmed, no man disannulleth or addeth thereto. You can't disannul the contract, nor can you, which means to do away with it, nor can you add to the contract. See? You can't do away with the contract, nor add to the contract. Verse 16, now to Abraham and his seed were the promises made. So the covenants was made with Abraham and his seed, his offspring. All right, so now you can't sometime down the line, now you're going to rearrange the contract and say, oh, these other people, now they're a part of the contract. The contract, when you go sign a contract, the terms of the contract, of the agreement, is discussed at the time. Then both parties sign them. And it's for whatever amount of time that it's agreed upon for this contract. So now you can't come back next week and then say, you know what, I want to change this contract. I want to redo it. You can't do that. That's why it says you can't add to the contract. So the other nations are not a part of the contract. So how are you going to add them to it in the end? See? Galatians 3 and 13. Mashiach Yahushua has redeemed us from the curse of the law. Now, who did he redeem? He redeemed the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. The curse of the law was what? The death that the breaking of the law brought upon Israel, because he brought in grace and mercy, right? That's what he redeemed us from. That's why we have grace and mercy, because otherwise we get put to death for breaking the laws. All right, so being made a curse for us, for it is written, "Cursed is everyone that hangeth on a tree." The hanging of the Israelites on a tree was a sign, a symbol as to who the Israelites, who the true Jews would be. Like so-called Negroes were hung on trees, so-called Mexicans were hung on trees by the hands of the so-called white, by our oppressors. All right? Curses everyone that hangeth on a tree. Verse 14, that the blessing of Abraham might come on the Gentiles. The blessing, what was the blessing of Abraham? Faith. Right? That Abraham was blessed with faith. Verse 9, so then they that which be of faith are blessed with faithful Abraham. All right? So when it says that the blessing of Abraham might come on the Gentiles, because the Gentiles, which are Israelites, are going to be saved through faith, not through the law, through them believing and keeping the law, but mainly through them believing in the Most High and Mashiach Yahushua. That the blessing of Abraham might come on the Gentiles through Mashiach Yahushua. Okay? That we might receive the promise of the Spirit through faith. Now, verse 16. Now to Abraham and his offspring were the promises made. Now, Esau is not the offspring of Abraham that came through Isaac and then through Jacob and then through the 12 patriarchs. Neither was the Ishmaelites, neither was the Hamites, neither was any other nation of people that did not come through Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob and the 12 patriarchs. All right. So this is it's not even up for debate. You know what I'm saying? The children of Israel are the only people that represented in the covenant. They're the only people that's in the covenant. So let's conclude this. So John the 4th chapter is Yahushua dealing with the woman at the well, was an Israelite of the northern kingdom, and Yahushua was speaking to her about their affairs, and their wickedness. All right, that's why he discussed salvation with her. All right, and the belief that he rejected her in verse 22, he did not reject her salvation. He just told her, you don't know what you're worshiping. You're not worshiping the Most High in spirit and in truth. You're doing it the wrong way. That's all he was telling her. He wasn't telling her salvation is not for you. He don't go through all this. We don't go through all this for to tell her that. We already know the Ethiopian salvation for the Ethiopian. He ain't got to say that. He already said the Ethiopians also, you shall be slain by my sword. So with that, I'm out. Shalom.